I'm Cindy Vincent.
Hi, I'm Austin Vincent. Today's video is the fourth of a series that focuses on the building blocks of friendship and relationships.
We've talked in previous videos about how to start conversations with others. In other words, we've talked about ways to turn strangers into acquaintances. Now that we've made some acquaintances, let's discuss 5 ways to move from being acquaintances to being friends. After you've talked to a person for a while, it's time to, number 1, ask to exchange contact information. When it's appropriate to ask this question depends on your individual situation and the context of your relationship to the person you want to ask. If you work with someone, you can ask for contact information pretty quickly because you know who this person is. In other words, this person is not a random stranger you met off the street, and you know you'll see them regularly. Similarly, if you're in a class or a club with someone, it also makes sense to share contact information. For example, at school you could say, do you mind sharing contact numbers, email, or social media accounts?
Sure.
In case one of us is absent or has a question about an assignment.
Yeah.
This is an appropriate and comfortable way to potentially begin building a friendship. Just remember, if you meet a stranger outside of these 2 contexts, aka someone you don't have any regular contact with, it usually is not appropriate to ask to exchange contact information like you would at school or work.
So now that you have a coworker or classmate's contact information, let's discuss point number 2. How do you start communicating with this person outside of work or school? Once you've obtained someone's information, like in the examples we gave, then you keep that information until it's appropriate to use it. You don't just immediately start communicating with your new contact on a casual basis. You should only use their contact information for the purpose you ask them for. For example, if you have a question about a homework assignment, you might text your contact specifically about that question. Social secret: when you are texting someone for the first time, always identify yourself and remind the person of the reason that you know them. So if I had exchanged contact information with my mom, assuming she wasn't my mom and I had a school-related question, I might text her something like, "Hi, this is Austin, your classmate from English class. Do you know when that test over the book is coming up?"
And we don't text someone on a friendly basis until we first establish some kind of contextual and polite dialogue with them. Say, for example, that you've been getting to know somebody at your new job and that you got their contact information after only knowing them for, say, like a day or 2. Time passes and you've both begun eating lunch with them for a few weeks, and you've established a friendly relationship together at the office. After you've become familiar with each other like this, it would be appropriate to send them a friendly text like, "Hey, it's Cindy. I hope your weekend is going well. I saw something funny that reminded me of you and I wanted to share it." Again, if it's the first time you're texting them, start by identifying yourself. Yes, and I know your name should come up on their phone when you text them, but what if they didn't save your number? Introducing yourself, even through text, is just polite and kind of breaks the ice.
I think it's important to point out that many people have trouble taking the first step to ask someone for their phone number or other contact information. And yes, it does feel intimidating. As someone who wants to make new friends, you have to be open to the possibility that the other person may say no. In other words, rejection. I'm joking, but getting over this fear of rejection is so important to moving forward with making new friends and moving your casual friendships to the next level. It sounds cliche, but if you want more friends, you have to be willing to take the risk of someone telling you no. The risk of a no is worth the chance for a yes. A chance for, yes, sure, we can exchange contact info. A chance to make a new friend or a useful contact that can give you important information or cover your back in school or at work. Again, the risk of a no is worth the chance for a yes. And if someone does say no to your offer to deepen a friendship, it's absolutely not the end of the world. Believe it or not, rejection can and does happen to everyone. But only the people who try to make friends are the ones who will actually make them.
Which brings us to point number 3. No matter how attractive, smart, funny, or just all around great you are, not everyone wants to be your friend. If we were to line up 10 random people shoulder to shoulder, maybe one of them might want to be my friend and the other 9 wouldn't. For many of them, not wanting to be my friend has nothing to do with me personally. Austin has already said this, but it's worth repeating. If you're going to have friends and cultivate relationships, you must be willing to hear not only the yes, but also the no. The more you practice trying to make friends, the better you will become at picking people who probably will want to be friends with you. Through practice, you will become skilled at watching people's body language, how they react when they see you, how interested they appear to be when you're talking. All of which are cues as to whether or not someone wants to be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only obtain these skills through practice.
Absolutely. And remember, too, that while some people are happy to be your work or school friend, such as by visiting with you at work, or eating lunch with you, or sitting with you in classes or meetings, they might not be interested in friendship outside of where you met them. Don't take this feeling personally. There are a number of reasons why this may be the case. For example, some people have very busy lives with their family, with their hobbies, with other jobs, or maybe they just don't socialize much. At my job, a lot of my coworkers are a fair bit older than me. While some of them actually have hung out with me outside of work, it's completely understandable to me why, for example, a 60-something-year-old man wouldn't want to meet up and socialize with a 30-something-year-old like me. In short, if someone wants to keep it professional only, it probably isn't because you did anything wrong. Try to see and understand the situation for what it is.
But here's the good news. Like any salesperson knows, the more calls you make or the more doors you knock on, the more the likelihood increases that you will eventually make a sale. Or in this case, if you keep having casual conversations with people at work, school, or any other place where you're surrounded by groups of people, such as like at a club, an organization, church, or a community group, you will eventually find people to connect with and be your friend.
It's true. And speaking of all these different situations, there are many kinds of friendships and ways to make connections, not just in person, but also through the internet. Many people, myself included, have made wonderful connections with others online. And there's definitely a place for those relationships when it comes to making friends.
Yes, and as an example from my own life, I happen to be on a phone call every morning, mostly with people I've never met. We all study and pray together to work towards applying certain principles and thoughts in order to become better people. This phone call with these distant friends has been so helpful to me. So even I don't discount that there are ways to connect with other people other than just face-to-face interaction. That being said, there is a basic, evolved human need to have those face-to-face friendships that just about all of us have. For example, it's very valuable to have someone with whom you can go to a movie, shop, work out, or go to dinner. These examples are real needs that our online-only friends simply cannot fill.
Number 4, there are many kinds of friendships, but it's important to have some face-to-face friends. If I'm sick or need help moving furniture, my online friends can't help me. They can send me a message of support for sure, but how does that help me prepare my chicken noodle soup? How does that help me pick up the other end of my couch?
One of the reasons I encourage my students to cultivate in-person relationships, in addition to online ones, is that I think it's much easier to have online friends versus putting ourselves out there in person. Being in person kind of requires different kinds of interactions, some of which can be more difficult than just talking into a microphone or sending a text message. And it can also be more challenging to maintain those face-to-face relationships. And
Certainly.
I know that for people who have trouble with the face-to-face, that there are some built-in advantages when you're talking over text messages. You can take your time to respond, and you don't have the immediacy of a response like you do in conversation.
Yeah, it's easier.
So you don't have to worry about the many aspects of communication that sometimes trip people up, like tone of voice, the body language, and so forth. So we're not saying to have no online friendships, just that in-person ones can provide advantages that online ones cannot.
Finally, number 5, you will find friends if you keep using your tools for making friends. If you apply the other 4 tips from this video in conjunction with strategies from our other videos on how to communicate with others, how to have conversations, use appropriate body language, and how to listen to others, you will develop new friendships. As we said before, making friends is just a numbers game. It's all about trying enough, and eventually you will succeed. Flat out, some people may not want to be your friend outside of your activity, work, or school, but they will be happy to engage with you on a friendly basis. And some people won't want to be friends at all. But there will be people who do want to be your friends. I guarantee it. Keep working and applying these principles of friendship, and you will find people to connect with. As you use these behaviors, they will become more habitual and natural. Additionally, it's also important that you create opportunities for yourself to use these tools to make friends in the first place. Join a club or get involved in an activity outside of school, or work to meet others who have the same interests as you. That way, you can find and make friends with people you'd actually want to be friends with.
So get into the habit of saying hi to others, asking them about their day, remembering facts they tell you about, and then asking about those facts. And keep a positive expression and attitude in dealing with everyone you come into contact with. These behaviors become habits and natural ways of dealing with others, and they're also very attractive behaviors that will draw others to you and make other people want to be your friend effortlessly.
So just a reminder that today's video is part of a series about the building blocks of friendship. Check out our other videos from the series if you want to learn more practical tools for making friends, and also check out our website at electricinteractions.com, where you can find more resources on this topic to continue to explore how to get your relationships moving forward. At our website, you can also take some free online surveys about friendship behaviors to learn about your strengths and weaknesses, and to suggest other videos we have that will be the most useful to you individually. Leave us a comment below on any other topics you would like us to discuss. We hope you enjoyed today's video, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.